Lights on the screen, hey, it's Grant and Ryan. We bleed purple, talking hoops, never lying. Sacramento Kings, we rise and we fall. If you don't like that, then you don't know ball. Jerry sitting with the stories of the game, spilling all the truth, driving legends insane. From the Cow Palace days to Arco's roar, this town's heart beats on the hardwood floor. If you don't like that, turn away now. Kings in our blood, we rise strong and proud. Running up the score, Kings never back down. If you don't like that, this ain't your town.
What a game for the Sacramento Kings tonight. This is a team that's just finding ways to win close games. 127-118. Good to have Jerry Reynolds with us for a couple of minutes. Jerry, your thoughts?
Well, just an amazing effort. I mean, the clutch performances of DeMar DeRozan in particular, and then, of course, Fox finished it off. But the two well-known clutch guys came up well-known in the clutch. It was really, especially with, I thought, a pretty bad whistle much of the night, to be honest with you. Man, that's just some real clutch performances. I thought through most of three quarters, I don't know how you guys felt, that offense was just kind of clunky. Never really felt comfortable. And I think a real credit to Coach Brown really just went to DeRozan just to go free up and give him space and let him work. And it really changed the tempo of the game.
Yeah, De'Aaron and DeMar, Jerry, 9 of 30 through three quarters. Then they go 7 of 9 in overtime, guys.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Listen, you got to get the W, and I'm all for it. And without Malik Monk, that changes things. But eventually, playing these guys 40-plus minutes on most nights is really going to catch up with you. Jerry?
Well, yeah, no question. It's going to be awfully tough tomorrow. There's no doubt about it. But, I mean, this team really just relies on its starting five so much. And now without Monk, I mean, Ellis has got to play more. And Ellis played very well tonight, by the way. But, it's every man from out there, because this team is thin. And I will say this: Lyles probably played his best game, so we saw a little spark there. So, but you're right, Grant. I mean, boy, it's going to be tough.
Jerry, I mean, think about this. And I understand the game was an extra 5 minutes tonight, so I'm aware of that. But DeRozan played 43, Murray played 43, Fox played 41, and Sabonis played 39.
Yeah, I mean, but like you said, well, it's overtime, but that doesn't make any difference. The minutes are the minutes.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah,
and of course, in a normal game, they'd play 5 minutes less, which still would be a lot.
Yes.
But I mean, I don't know that there's any choice. I mean, I think Coach Brown, his job is try to win, and you're just not going to win if you don't play those guys a lot of minutes.
Good point.
Yeah, it's the bottom line. You need to get more out of everybody else. Kevin played 35 minutes. You need more production from him. Keegan Murray, amazing game on the boards tonight. You need more production from him. And this is a night where Doug McDermott played 11 minutes himself. So for now, it's a grind for the starters for the foreseeable future.
And what does Doug McDermott do? He doesn't do anything. I mean, really. I mean, he's just been very. I know it sounds like I'm bashing the guy, but there's a reason why he was available a week before the start of the season.
Yeah, if he's not making shots, he's not doing anything for you, and that's
exactly
that's what he's got to do. And my opinion is they can only use him in spots, so I don't think you can count on that. I mean, this team really needs Trey Lyles to give him 20 good minutes a night. I mean, I think if they could do that, that could really help a little bit as you go down. Certainly Ellis is capable of more minutes. We've seen it in the past. So, but it's also true. You better not get anybody else hurt.
And Jerry, that's exactly what it was tonight. It was a message to Trey Lyles. He came off the bench, Doug McDermott, before Trey. And also it was a message to the team to let the ball fly. Coach talked about that a lot in shoot around and after the last game. So it seemed to have worked for Trey tonight.
Yeah, I think it did. I think he played with you could see he was so happy to finally get one to fall for him. But I'll say this: I think all this talk about 3-point shooting, and they won the game in the paint. They won the game with 2 points. I mean,
they got lucky when Nurkic went out of the game. I thought that was everyone talks about Durant. I think when Nurkic left the game, that was huge, and I think that changed a lot in the second half for Sacramento.
Well, he was totally ineffective. I'll say that. I mean,
yes, he was. He was playing on a bad ankle that he had injured the last game.
I mean, Plumlee was actually played better, but
yes, he did.
But the thing that just struck me was how the Kings were so efficient. I mean, that's what I've always said.
Yep.
If you can score 7 out of 10 baskets inside the paint, that's way better than 4 out of 10 3-pointers.
Yes.
And plus the opportunity to get fouls. And I think this team, as the season goes, really needs to understand it's not about shooting a whole bunch of threes, get a whole bunch of high percentage shots. And certainly DeRozan has proven it for years that he can produce, at levels that really outstanding 3-point shooters can't.
Yeah, absolutely. And Grant, to your point, you mentioned this off the air about Booker getting cold towards the end of the fourth quarter.
Yes.
The Suns were off balance tonight, one without Durant, but Nurkic going out. So by the time the fourth quarter came around, it was all on Booker. It was all on Beal, and it was showing. They have not been asked to produce the way they needed to produce tonight.
No question about it.
And Ellis, by the way, did an awfully good job on Booker.
He did.
Yes, he did.
I really thought that they should have kept him on him instead of putting Keegan Murray on him. It's just I think Keegan, Booker's just a little bit smaller and quicker for him. But I thought Keon Ellis really kind of changed the game there to make Book really work for tough shots.
Well, we're going to find out a lot more about this team in 24 hours. Because they're going to be very weary, and they're going into a team that they are better than, that they should beat. But, the Spurs to me are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
No, that's a great point, because with Wembanyama, he might go for 30 and 16, or he might go for 12 and 5.
Right.
And so if the Kings can, maybe slow him down and get him playing on the perimeter all the time, I think they'll have a chance. But like I say, it'll be a great test. You're 100% right, Grant. I mean, you've seen this forever, just like I have. That great win, but you got to get on the plane and get ready to go play again, because a loss in San Antonio takes away a lot of the value of the win in Phoenix.
Yeah, and the Spurs are mixing in Devin Vassell now, just back from injury last game on a minutes restriction. So that's the wild card there. Fresh legs, gentlemen.
Yep. That's exactly right. That is a wild card. Hey, I want to tell you about New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They are available 24/7 for your plumbing needs and repairs. Make sure you call the number on your screen or go to sackserviceplumbing.com. That's New Works Plumbing, available around the clock for your plumbing needs and repairs. And next time you look for a really good place to eat, Bennett's, they've got you covered, whether it's lunch, whether it's dinner, whether it's their weekend brunch. Bennett's Westside Grill in Rockland or in Roseville, or their location in Sacramento. Prime seafood and steak. Just go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com, and you can make a reservation and check out everything. Don't forget about their daily happy hours, 2 to 6, their sips and taste. And before we get back to the panel, don't forget a rant with Grant a little bit later on this postgame show. Give me some rant ideas, and I will deliver a rant. I won't be ranting on the Kings, though, because that's a hell of a win tonight.
Boy, so much fun there at the end. I mean, it was a hard game to watch. I thought really most of the game for both teams kind of disjointed, but down the stretch of the game, and of course the clutch play, and Ryan, you mentioned it, but boy, Keegan Murray, when did he become a tip-top rebounder? But he sure, this year, I mean, he is flying around and getting double figures in rebounds, taking a lot of the pressure off Domas, and it's a great thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. He has been the epitome of crash zones, and that was a big point of emphasis in training camp, Jerry. You know that.
Yeah, and Keegan, he's playing well. He'll get that 3-pointer going. I mean, he's just shooting. He finally made one there late and had some nice arch on it. He's just been shooting his ball too flat, I think, which he goes through stretches last year like that, where he'd flatten his ball out. And, so, hey, It's a good day to be a king. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and it will be very interesting to see the Phoenix Suns now with the loss are 8-2, and how much they suffer without Durant. I think he's going to be out more than 2 weeks if it's a calf strain. So we're looking at a West now, Jerry, with Zion Williamson and all the injuries that the Pelicans have. They're almost buried. I mean, they'll still be formidable when they get everyone back, but it will probably be too late. All right. You've got John Morant from Memphis, who's week to week with a hip issue. Chet Holmgren left the game tonight for Oklahoma City. I don't have a report on him yet, but they got beat badly by the Warriors. How about that road trip for Golden State? The only team they lost to was the Red Hot Cavaliers. They win at Boston and they win in Oklahoma City. That's a big-time road trip.
Yeah, they're the surprise team of the league, I think. I mean, and nobody had them playing at this level. Obviously, real credit to Steve Kerr, I mean, and he's got now in their case, they've got an awfully good bench. They're one of the teams that really does. I mean, Buddy Hield has just been terrific for them, and there again with Buddy, we all know what Buddy can do, but there again, I think Steve Kerr's great at really getting Buddy to do what he does well, not what he wishes he could do.
They've minimized the turnovers, and they're number one in the NBA in assists. And when you have a team that can pass the ball and play positionless the way Golden State can, then don't forget Andrew Wiggins. He's come back, and he's been playing pretty good basketball more nights than not.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, they've got, with Kuminga can have a big night, Moody off the bench, Buddy Hield. I mean, Podziemski or whatever his name is. I mean, he's a solid young player. I mean, they really
you nailed it.
Their bench. Yeah, I can't pronounce anybody's name.
No, you got it. You nailed it,
did
Jerry.
I?
Yes.
Oh,
good job.
Miraculous.
Well, the only downside to tonight's win was Malik Monk's injury, and we'll know more tomorrow about his timetable. But it didn't look good. He was not looking good walking off the floor, but we've seen players in the past that have done that, and they're back in 24 hours. So we'll see.
Yeah, it'd be miraculous. I mean, I would just be hope if he could get back in less than a week, he'd be really happy.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'll say, it's better that it happened at a guard position rather than a forward center position.
Oh, boy.
The Kings would have been in a much different position. I have to ask both of you this because you sat courtside and called so many games. In my lifetime, I don't know that I've seen a guard draw fouls in the mid-range the way that DeMar DeRozan does and get the calls he gets. What's your guys' take on this?
Jerry?
Yeah, he's amazing. It's one of those things where you're just not sure how he's going to get a shot off, and he just goes right up through guys, and then invariably they'll try to make a block or something at the end, and he's able to get it. But he's amazing that way. I don't know how many players I can recall being like that, but he's been doing it for years. He is one of those guys, every time you see him play, you think, well, don't take his head fakes, try to keep him from getting his feet set in the painted area anywhere. But nobody seems to be able to do it.
He has just an amazing feel for the game. He just has an amazing feel for the game. It's almost like he has vision in the back of his head, on the side. He just has a feel. Guys like that. And here's the other deal. He makes his free throws.
Yeah.
Great point.
How about this team making their free throws?
Yep.
I mean, and this is there again. This is a game you don't win if you don't make them.
Yeah.
And but it's best win of the year. There's no doubt about it.
No question.
But hey, next game up. That's all you can say. Even after a great win, that's all.
Yep. That's right.
NBA. You gotta go play the next one and see what happens.
Next one's tomorrow. You with us at halftime, Jerry?
I will be. I hope my computer or whatever it was don't screw up again. So I don't know. Life's too complicated for me, fellas.
Thank you, Jerry. We appreciate you joining us here on the postgame. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yes, you will. And Mrs. Reynolds gave me permission to have a beer after the
Oh,
wow.
So my life's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, that's.
I love it.
See you, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you. Always great when we can have Jerry. Don't forget to give us a call here. We would love to get your feedback. You can give us a shout, and we will talk about this big win tonight for the Kings.
I've got your first rant idea. The
Yes.
Phoenix shot clock operator.
Oh, my
what
gosh.
the hell is that person doing?
It's
Holy
awful,
crap.
but I also will tell you, in my experience of sitting courtside, sometimes it's not human error. Sometimes it's the actual mechanism and a problem with the actual clock itself.
Fair enough.
So I would love to rant on that because I was thinking about that, but I don't want to rant the shot clock operator if it wasn't clearly his fault.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's kick off the night of callers with Eli. Welcome in tonight. You're with Grant and Ryno.
Hey guys, how are you? Long time no talk.
How are you?
Yes. How you doing, bud?
Good, good. That was definitely the best win of the year so far. Would you guys agree?
Yep, I would agree.
I didn't see that coming, but I'm glad it happened. Ryan, you stole my thunder because I was going to ask about that shot clock situation. How is that? Is there no mechanism where the refs can just review that?
I don't believe, Grant, I'm going to defer to you. I don't
All
know.
timing from what I understand, timing issues can be reviewed. I don't know what the current mechanism is for that, but clock error I've always felt could be reviewed.
But this one was a little bit different because it wasn't the ball hitting the rim. Usually that's what they're looking at.
True.
This was more of, in my eyes, was it a possession or not? Did Trey Lyles have possession of the ball?
Right. And it was a big call.
Yeah.
And I didn't see that, Mike Brown was even looking to challenge it, or I don't know if he had a challenge or if that's even something you can challenge. I don't know if they were aware of it while it was going on. But is something like that challengeable potentially?
Yes, I believe the ball not hitting the rim or hitting the rim is not challengeable, but a clock issue is, and I understand that affects whether the shot clock's reset or not. So I'd have to go back and look at the rule book on that. I off the top of my head, I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah. Okay. That's frustrating, and we don't know extent of Monk's injury yet, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Not
well,
yet. Yeah.
Despite that, it was a great win, guys. So yeah, awesome. Nice talking to you guys again.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you, Eli.
All right.
We'll see in the 2-minute report. Is exactly right. The 2-minute report is going to have to be a couple of pages long, I think, for tomorrow.
I agree. And speaking of challenges, Mike Brown should be thanking DeMar DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox because he blew that challenge in the first half. And I think that Keegan Murray block that was an and one was a clear charge. And then to Eli's point, might have been able to challenge the shot clock. Let's go to Jay. Welcome in tonight, Jay.
What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing?
What's up, Jay?
Great.
Yeah, that play right there, it did have me a little livid at first. And then it's funny how quick I just stopped because I was like, well, what could the explanation be? And like you said, Ryno, they had that rule as Trey Lyles had possession of the ball, and the reason why was because he was able to pass it across the floor or whatnot. That call right there is kind of a coin toss. It's either he did or didn't have possession. It's who's refereeing the game today, right? It could have been different for Scott Foster that day. That's just how they ruled it. But contrary to a lot of Kings fans' beliefs, I really actually enjoyed this refereeing core this game more than I have probably any other game this season. The guy with the mustache, I don't know his name, but you guys would probably know. I think he's number 55 on his referee jersey.
Bill Kennedy.
Yeah, he's been a referee for a while, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no entitlement from him whatsoever. Great energy, great aura, great vibe. Listens to both teams, both players, and they looked at a couple plays, even though both teams were out of challenges. So I really appreciated that from the refereeing core. With the Keegan Murray foul on Devin Booker. That one right there, in my opinion, now I could be looking at it from the Purple Kings lens, but that is also a coin flip as well. And I say that because I do admit that Keegan, it's clear he held the jersey very briefly. It was sneaky. That's a little move you're taught, right? You couldn't see that in fast motion. I don't think anybody really saw that in fast motion from the TV angle, at least. But I feel like Grayson Allen, and correct me if I'm wrong or if you guys didn't see this, he kind of chicken winged his elbow out and bumped his butt out on purpose.
Yep.
So he wasn't really set for a screen either.
Mason Plumlee. It was Mason Plumlee.
Yeah,
he was literally boxing out. He was boxing out. It wasn't a screen. It was terrible.
So that's why I said, in my opinion, that's a coin flip. And what I mean is,
I agree with you.
It's a no call. Like you see the illegal screen, you see the contact. you let the
It
guys
can't
play
be a
on.
no call because the officials are graded on every call they make and they don't make. So if they see a foul or a violation, they have to call it. They can't just say, well, both teams made a violation and they can't call it. They have to. That's their job.
That fair enough. But all in all, I think the referees did fine tonight. I've definitely felt like, yes, there were a lot more whistles for the Suns, but that's going to happen. There's going to be a lot more whistles for the Kings some games, and that is what it is. But yeah, great win overall. Grant, I'm happy we got the win in Phoenix. Now we got to,
Yep.
like you said, we got to get it in San Antonio. Ryno.
You can't lose a game like this without Kevin Durant. I mean, they have the best player out of the lineup, a guy that's been playing great, and you could not have had the table set any better than you had it tonight. And had you lost this game, it would have been the worst loss of the year. And now we're talking about the best win of the year. But if you go into Phoenix and lose that game without Kevin Durant, that would have been a horrible loss.
Well, and the other thing, too, for the Kings, I think it's bigger than just tonight. You could thank Phoenix last season for knocking the Kings out of playoff contention. The Kings had two horrendous losses down the stretch to Phoenix. So this one felt a little personal.
Goodness.
And
I remember that.
Just remember tiebreakers. They play each other 4 times in the regular season, and all these games could determine a playoff seeding.
And so you got to jump on them while you can. I remember that game, Ryno. We were up by 20, I think, going into the fourth quarter, and that was the second time the Kings lost going up by 20 in the fourth quarter out of like 200 and something games or whatever it was. It was terrible. That one also had me livid. But you guys have a great show. I'm glad we have a win. Like to be.
Thank you, buddy.
Beam, baby.
Appreciate that. All right. I'm going to give you a rant right now. All right. And I'm going to go away from basketball for a minute. Okay. And I want to tell you that a rant with Grant is brought to you by EDH Motors Automotive Reimagined. Go to edhmotors.com and you will get all the information that you need. A long overdue new concept. David and Adam, just 2 people trying to do something different and better. And at EDH Motors, they offer new vehicle brokerage. They also offer vehicle consignments where they will sell your vehicle for you. And of course, they can buy your car and will sell pre-owned vehicles. Folks, they'll even do this with your RV or boat. Now, you'll take delivery at their beautiful auto lounge at the El Dorado Hills Town Center. You don't ever have to go to a dealership. You're not going to get pressured by the general manager, the salespeople. No, you're not going to get pushed into the F&I office. It's EDH Motors Automotive Reimagined. And just go to edhmotors.com to contact David and Adam. All right, here we go. If you're like me and you are from the East Coast and you are a New York football fan, what a freaking embarrassment the Giants and the Jets are. The Giants at least have an excuse. They don't have a lot of talent. All I heard about in the offseason was how great the Jets were going to be. Oh, gee, they got a tremendous defense. Oh, their defense is great. And if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, they don't even have to score that much because their defense is so good. You got a horrible owner in Woody Johnson. You got a quarterback who is at best average right now. You have trades that have not worked out. You wouldn't even know that Devontae Adams was on the field at Arizona today. The Arizona Cardinals looked like they were in a shelled 7-on-7 drill. I mean, the Jets defense was pathetic. And then you got the Giants and Daniel Jones and their prevent offense that now are 2-8. All right. You can't even beat Carolina. I mean, give me a freaking break. New York football is an embarrassment. The you know what? They ought to just close down MetLife Stadium for the rest of the year, because I'll tell you right now, Giants fans and Jets fans, they will not show up. You want to talk about no-shows? Oh, my goodness. Wait till you see what MetLife looks like coming up here in December. It is going to be empty, absolutely empty. No shows. Fans are not going to the games to watch this crap. A freaking embarrassment in New York for the Jets and the Giants. And that's my rant for today.
You just dunked all over New York football. Marv is proud of you. It's terrible. Yes, it is awful. Kyler Murray looking like
an
MVP candidate out there.
He looked great,
today.
Didn't he?
Yes, he looked really good.
Wow.
So, yeah.
All right. Man. So if the Kings to lose tomorrow, it changes your mood greatly, right? If they are able to find the grit and the just somehow, some way to win tomorrow, that could really catapult this team into a nice run. Because then your next game's against Phoenix. You're getting them without Durant, and you're getting them on a second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, you gotta capitalize on luck. You absolutely have to, Grant. And in this Western Conference, even though it's injured right now and it's actually league-wide, you've got to get it done. And I think they've got the players to do it. Here's the problem. Can they play physical without fouling Napes? Because Wembanyama, he is an issue.
Yes, he is. He is a big-time issue. So, listen, this is a big-time win, but I'm also going to let you know you had a team playing without one of the superstars in the NBA tonight, and you had this clutch, scratch, claw at the end of the game to get it to overtime. And then in overtime, you did what you had to do. You need to find some momentum here. You've had a very seesaw first 10 games, up and down, up and down, up and down. You really need to start finding some consistency with this team. But I love how this team has found ways to win this year. They would have lost this game last year, and they would have lost the game in Miami last year.
You're absolutely right. In fact, they didn't score from 3:04 on in the third quarter. That ran into the fourth. But then you grind through it. You push through some bad calls, something that would have sidetracked them last year. How many times did this team get off track because they're barking at the refs, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you come back and have an overtime period like that. Absolutely great. Hey, Dick, come on camera. I'm pretty sure you're related to Peaches and Bobo. Baki, welcome in.
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Hey there.
I'm going to be real short this time. I know that all the people are now having this nice feeling after the victorious night, but I didn't like this game for the Kings, and you can agree or not, the game was about to be lost in one moment. Fourth quarter, late fourth quarter, and I can talk about the Kings 3 days without a 3-second stop, but I won't. I would love somebody to say to Fox, wake up, because this is a hard-working, big sweating business stuff. This is not a playground. That's all for me.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Appreciate it, Baki.
I don't think Fox is having a particularly good season, but he is delivering when you need him to deliver. I would say that about him.
He had a triple-double, or almost a triple-double tonight, I should say. 2 assists shy of
he had 21 points on 23 shots. That's not good.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. He's certainly fighting through something. He is at his best with this injury. Let's just recognize he's dealing with something. He's at his best when he's going towards the rim, Grant. You got to, if you're Mike.
I don't disagree with that. Then stop taking so many threes. Once again tonight, he was horrible from threes, 0 of 6. Stop taking the threes then. You can get by anybody, even if they're playing off you. Stop taking 3-pointers if it's affecting you. I mean, his 3-point shooting has been dreadful.
Okay, that goes back to Coach Brown then. When you have Coach Brown talking before the game or in shoot-around saying, I'm going to pull guys out if they don't take open shots. If I start seeing that, then you need to make adjustments. And so they've got to find that balance. But
I don't want guys taking open shots that can't make them. That's me if I'm coaching. If you can't make the shot, don't take the damn thing.
But it's tricky. I don't disagree with you, but we've seen what this team can do shooting the 3-ball. Now, luckily, they don't need it right now. They only
but not this year. We haven't seen it this year.
We have not. We have not. But historically, if you look at the sample size of this team, Grant, they have been a 3-point shooting team up until the All-Star break last year.
Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. Hey, I want to tell you about Sunrise Landing, and this is Calusa's newest residential community, and Sunrise Landing is beautiful. This is a Blazona development project. Many models to choose from, many lot sizes, and remember, no Mellorews, no homeowners at Sunrise Landing. Go to CalusaSunrise.com. Remember, this is adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Good access to the major roads, easy to get to. You will love Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Go to CalusaSunrise.com. Tomorrow, we have pregame show. Ryan's got his show at 2 o'clock, the King's Court.
Yep.
Then the pregame, Jerry Reynolds joins us at halftime. And then the postgame show.
Full schedule. full schedule. And to all of those veterans out there, thank you
Yes.
very, very
Thank you.
much for your
Thank you.
service.
Thank you
From the
very
bottom
much.
of my heart.
Thank you.
And
On that note, we'll wrap it up. I know a lot of people are into the football game as well. We can't wait to be back here tomorrow, and we'll see if the Kings can get a W on a back-to-back. There's going to be a tired team. Let's hope that the Kings can get it done.
It'll be a fun flight to San Antonio, minus Malik
Yes,
Monk.
indeed. All right, 127 to 118. The beam is lit. Oh, boy. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night, everybody. Bye-bye.